Well, fortunately for us, we found a great attorney with Lance Cooper. And this was something that was so vitally important to us because it was the loss of our son. We didn't have time to have folks who dilly and dally around and not take our case seriously. What we found with Lance is that he had empathy for our situation. He honestly felt hurt and shared the pain along with us. I mean, he cried with us, he prayed with us. He did the things necessary to make our case human, to make Victor human, when the other side was pretty much trying to say, oh, his life wasn't worth anything.
They handled everything straightforward on what direction it was going to go in, how we were going to call in the witnesses, the presentation of the case. It was done very effectively with a very high professional manner. And we really enjoyed interacting with Lance, and they kept us on top of what was going on at all times. We got constant phone calls. We're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing that. And this is how it's going to be handled. Come in at this time, at this date, and everything just moved very efficiently.
But as a father, you know, I felt helpless because I wasn't able to save my child. But I wasn't willing to give up. And Lance was there. He helped give us the confidence. He gave us the boost, and he kept on telling us, we are going to fight this thing tooth and nail. We're going to represent you, and we're going to make sure your son has a legacy by the time we finish with this. And just as a father, as a man, as a human being, that is what my family needed. And that's why we are so grateful and happy that Lance Cooper and the Cooper firm assisted us with this major, major case for us.
During mediation, Lance would not let us be taken for just any amount of money, because you can't replace a life, but you're not going to take pennies over what insurance companies or whatever wants to pay. He made sure that they realized that Victor had a life. He was only 19 years old. He didn't get a chance to, aside from graduating high school, pursue what he wanted to do in life. So we had to not put a value on his life per se, but a value on what his life would have been. And we were confident in the fact that it was going to be handled correctly, where we could step off and say, do what you do. As opposed to with our previous attorneys, it was like, are you doing this? Are you doing that? Did you ask about this? Did you ask about that? We had all confidence in the world that Lance was on top of everything. And with the constant updates of what was going on, we knew that it was being handled correctly. And we actually prayed and thanked God for us being put with the right attorney to handle the case correctly, as opposed to who we were originally with. So that kind of handoff, it's like God handed us off to the right people to get this done. So we really appreciated that. So it was a blessing.
Well, Lance sees the human value of his cases. He doesn't just look at the monetary value or go for the quick settlement or say, well, your case is only worth this and it's not worth my time. Every case that he takes is worth his time. He sees it as this is his family. So he's going to work just as hard as if he was working on something personal for himself as he does for his clients. And that's what we saw. We saw his authenticity. That's what we saw from day one.
Lance is a great attorney. I'm glad. We will refer anyone to him.